point.
Oh, hey, welcome to Offensive. And, we all know how to do our jobs here. We all know Adobe Photoshop. We know the red zone. And we also are always holding at all times. We have.
I was worried there that you're going to be cheering for Ohtani because he's kicking our ass right now.
Yeah, we're going to come back now in the bottom of the eighth and score 6 runs. Go Brewers. Anyways, we are broadcasting today with some super exciting news. We've had some awesome stuff happen all over. Well, awesome or terrible, depending on how you look at it, happen over the last couple of days. We've had an awesome game with the Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers and Ron. We've had some viral moments happen with Micah Parsons and with Bill Belichick and his girlfriend. So we're going to get into the games and everything. But first, we're going to start off with this crazy breaking news of behind-the-scene footage. Are you guys ready? Neither of these guys has seen this footage yet. They've been busy all day with their families doing stuff, doing real-life stuff. Wow. Bill Belichick and his girlfriend have destroyed all pride and the soul of the NFL in one foul swoop. Well, I guess it's been a couple. I guess it's been a couple swoops. Now, let me set the stage for this, okay, guys? We're going to decide at the end of this what's more offensive, the Micah Parsons thing or the Bill Belichick situation first, okay? So maybe we should go and check out the Micah Parsons situations. And I'm going to play the video for Micah, and we're going to go over what he's talking about basically he's saying that defenses, no one cares about us. They let us get injured. They let us get like cheap shotted, and there's nothing to protect us, but you care about the offense. We can't touch them or do nothing to them, right? But also people are saying he's complaining and everything, right? But let's actually look at this video here, okay? And I'll let it play, and we can give our feedback on the Micah Parsons situation.
I think it needs volume.
Can you not hear it?
I cannot hear it.
No, we can't hear nothing.
What about you?
Nope.
Technical difficulties on the offensive show.
Technical difficulties. Okay. I guess I'll just have to edit this and fix it.
We'll see.
How do we get audio from it? All right, hold on. I know how to fix it.
Okay.
You played it for a little snippet earlier, and I heard it.
Yeah, and I heard it before when you were playing it.
That's really weird. Okay, what about now?
Yep.
Yes.
Protect the defense.
Turn it up, though. Can you do that?
Hit the ball.
All right, hold on.
We don't show videos very often on this channel, guys, as you can tell. So, we're learning. We're figuring it out as we go.
I think it's
We're
using
Luke Fickle. We'll eventually figure out what the hell we're doing.
No, don't compare us to Luke Fickle, you bastard.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. You guys are just picking up audio from my mic too now because of how I have it set up. All right, I'm gonna have to cut all that stuff out. Just let the video play.
Just on protecting the offense, like protect the defense. Like a guy could be trying to catch the ball, and you make a defensive play so he doesn't catch it, and it's targeting. It's a flag now. But a defensive end could be rushing and engaged with another player, and the guy could come blow his ribs out. And we're not considered defenseless, but like we said, it's an offensive league. Like I think a lot of the rules are bullshit, and it's like. Guy like damn near hurt Van Ness last week. Like, what are we doing? Like, if you're gonna say it's about protecting the players, then protect all players. Don't just protect one side of the ball. Like, I don't mind guys chipping from the outside, but like running backs want to come and sneak players while we're engaged with offensive linemen, that's complete bullshit. And like people want to encourage, like that's not good football. Like that's not safe football if that's what they want to preach, like on the offensive side. So I think those things are like more frustrating than
Okay.
Than the penalties. Because they asked him if he's frustrated that he gets held on basically every play, right?
Yeah, the thing, okay, this is how it started. It was actually Cheesehead TV, our friends Aaron Nagler and those guys that started putting out little clips showing highlights of how he was being held a lot against the Bengals. But not only that, they would just grab him and like push him into the ground, like smother him with illegal holding. And it was like super blatant. And yeah, that stuff happens in NFL, but then it caught on and all the reporters started asking him questions about it. Then it went like nationwide news and everything. So that was kind of his response to that, where he's like, yeah, the holding's bad, but it's not just that, it's all this other things too. And then other people like Shannon Sharp like responded and said he's a complaining little B and he needs to shut up, basically, is what Shannon Sharp said. Who's an offensive player.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wide receiver really can't say nothing about that.
No. And tight ends block too, don't get me wrong, but like, I don't trust offensive players' opinions whatsoever, because, they love the fact that it's kind of in their favor. So I'll say this, because Micah has been held a lot, not just normal holding, but like around his neck and his head holding, which is dangerous, right?
And he's got hands to the face nearly every play too.
A bunch of times,
hands to the face.
So I'm a defensive guy. I always stand up for defense. I like talking about defense. I'm interested in defense. I think defense is fascinating, but I got to tell you guys, I don't want to watch a 7-10 game either. Like, I don't. I want to watch the game we saw last night where two old men put up 30 points. I want to watch that. I 100% admit that I'm part of the problem. And dude, he's 100% right. The NFL absolutely prefers offensive players healthy over defensive players. That is not even a question. So here's a perfect example. Scadaboo, who everybody loves, right, is bulling his head into guys without any care for his body. And everyone's like, yeah, great job. And it's like the second a defensive player does that, not only is it a penalty, but they'll get ejected from the game for doing the exact same thing. Do you see what I'm saying? It's an absolute double standard.
And he actually did, when he is talking about you're already engaged with somebody and then somebody comes in and blows up your ribs. That's what Scadaboo does.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Scadaboo did that, and Scadaboo, that's dirty. Like, I agree with
it.
That.
Is
you're
dirty.
Already engaged. They made it so that way, once you're engaged, you can't go at the lower body. And I don't mind, that you can't have a running back coming in and blowing up the ribs. I agree with that aspect of it.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that, dude. It's like, okay, so here's a good example. Like when offensive linemen are downfield blocking, like little tiny guys, defensive backs, do you know what I'm saying? They blow them up. They destroy them a lot. So defensive backs have to make business decisions a lot. Like wide receivers very rarely have to make a business decision. I'd say cornerbacks make the most business decisions out of anybody, right? And then you got linebackers going against offensive linemen as well. And then you've got just double team blocks on ends. That's like, I understand what he's talking about. Chop blocks. Like there's a reason why so many offensive penalties are not called, because we've seen offensive pass interference like probably as many times in a game as we've seen defense, but they'll call it rarely. Like Bears got one last week. They got an offensive PI, right? And when that happens, you're like, whoa, offensive PI. It's almost like a shock versus, the 2 or 3 defensive PIs per game, at least per team. So there's like 5 or 6 defensive pass interference calls per game.
We saw it a lot with the Packers versus the Browns, where the Browns guys were engaging with the Packers guys, and the Packers just engaged with them because they're like, whatever. And then PI was called on the Packers DBs.
Yeah. Where there's them. 2 or 3 offensive pass interferences per weekend for every game. All games combined, there's 2 or 3 offensive penalties to probably 5 defensive penalties per team or per game in the NFL, because that's the way the NFL wants it. And, I understand where he's coming from, but nothing's going to change because the money, offense generates money, man. That dude, if the NFL has proved anything in its existence, if it generates money, it's more important. That's it. That's all you need to know about the NFL, guys. We love it. I support it. The NFL is a wonderful product, but let's not fool ourselves. The number one priority of the NFL is to generate revenue. Player safety is second. And the only reason player safety is important is because they don't want their big money stars like Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen getting hurt. That's what they don't want. They don't give an F if Darnell Savage gets hurt. They could care less. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, they just don't care. They don't care that Lucas Van Ness got hurt. It doesn't stop people from buying merch and tickets where Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes getting hurt would, right? Or
even
Saquon
defensive stars like defensive linemen like Micah and top players, like they don't really care that much if they're hurt. I mean, maybe a little bit, but that's not what the marketing. The marketing is Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen.
A little bit. I would say if you took like the top 5 defensive player sales, like the jerseys of defensive players, and you combine them, they'd probably be the 4th highest selling jersey. Do you know what I mean? If you combine the top 5 defensive players, because it's all about offense. The league's about offense. I know it. I love defense. I want to defend Micah here. Again, I don't think Micah said anything incorrect, but nothing's going to change.
I think
nothing's
Micah
going to
speaks
come
from
from
his
it.
heart, and he says what he really means. He doesn't have an agenda. He's not trying to be like, look at me, they're holding me all the time. This was brought to him. Everyone, was other people that kind of made this whole thing up.
Sure.
But Dave, you're a Bears fan. You have no really dog in the fight or whatever. Like, what is your response to this? Do you think that, like, because he did mention a few times that him being held all the time, but do you think that's a bad thing? Now, we do have evidence that pretty much every top pass rusher in league history has complained about holding. So it's not like he's the only one, really.
No, it's defense. Holding happens on every single play. With him, it's just he's a little bit quicker. So for him, it is a little more blatant to where you see the hand up around the neck and whatnot. And even in last night's game, you saw an instance where they called it. I'm like, it's a little bit close, and then you see it on the replay, and it happens so quick, and you don't really notice how fast the players, the tackle's hand goes up here, and then he got it back down, but still that's holding and whatnot. And if you're a defensive lineman, if you feel like coming in here, I almost want to lean in that if I'm coming off the edge, just so that way it's really blatant for that official that's sitting in the back, because you will get those calls if you're coming off the edge, like that. Versus if you're one of the D tackles, for them it's really blatant. Like Micah Micah can't bitch compared to what the D tackles have to put up.
Oh, they
for
get
him,
held on purpose.
For him, he's out on an island, so he can get a little bit of space. He does,
but he does rush up the middle and get.
It's not nearly as blatant as the double teams and getting held.
Yeah, the defensive tackles are held on purpose every play, and it's just like if you get caught, it's like you made a mistake.
But Micah does get double teamed pretty much every other play, and there's many. There's many pictures of him getting double teamed with hands both to the face, like constantly, like just So I'm just saying that he's not just an edge rusher. He gets a lot of different holdings. So I'm actually surprised he doesn't talk about it more. Not just so much for himself, just the idea of like defenders, like maybe just sticking up for defense in general.
But it's even acknowledged anytime that you watch a football game, like Collinsworth always says, when they call holding in the first quarter, he's like, there's an example, buddy. You could call it on every play. Everybody knows, but some of it's a lot worse. But here is per the NFLPA, the top 50 NFL players sales list for jerseys from March of 24 to February of 25. Saquon, Mahomes, Hurts, Daniels, Stroud, Allen, Hutchinson at number 7.
Okay.
Parsons at number 9. So you only have 2 of the top
10, 20,
15. 2 of the top 15, and then TJ Watt is number 16.
You have to also understand Cowboy fans don't have a whole lot of people to put on a jersey. I guess they get CeeDee Lamb, but he was kind of like their best player on their team, right?
I mean, is Micah higher than Dak on that list, Dave? Where's Dak?
He is higher than Dak, yes. Yeah. So
wow. That's impressive.
CD is 17. Oh, Dak don't get no love.
He really doesn't.
We'll talk about that later. He's 33.
Yeah. Dave doesn't like him either.
Oh, you kidding? I love Dak. Dak is amazing. Dak is the number 2 quarterback in fantasy. So I traded them away for what Derek will say is a hill of beans. But again, that'll be a conversation later on in this episode. But yeah.
No, do it now.
He's right. Defensive players get held. They get held every play, but everybody, they want to see the games last night. They want to see the 31-34 shootout with a kicker winning the game at the end. They don't want to watch the Bears against the Commanders 2 years ago on Thursday Night Football, where it's basically 13-16. Everybody in our league chat was bitching about it. They're like, this is terrible. How can you have this be a Thursday night game?
Right. So no, we all know.
Everyone was happy with last night. They weren't happy with the games 2 years ago, and you had 2 defenses and offenses. So
no, Micah's 100% right. But if they try to, if they don't skew it towards offense, they don't make as much money. And this is why nobody talks about it. Like when offensive players get hurt, it's a huge deal. When defensive players get hurt, there's a couple guys. There's probably a handful of guys that it's a big deal. But other than that, it's just not.
Well, there is the thing of that, like sometimes when you tell the ref, like, hey, just watch this guy, he's holding me every play. Sometimes now they'll like pay a little bit more attention. Maybe you'll get a call.
Yeah.
Like Tauscher talked about that today.
One thing I thought Micah did, because there'll be some times I've seen Gary do it. There's a lot of pass rushers that do it. Like when they get their arms around your neck, you like throw your hands up to get the attention. And that tends to work a lot because the refs tend to let it slide. And if
Micah
you throw
does
your
that
hands
too. I
up,
see it in the pictures where he's doing this and he's like literally like a foot away from the quarterback and the arms around his neck.
I've only seen him do that once or twice. I think Micah's so used to getting held like that he's still just trying to get to the quarterback because he knows they're not going to call it. Yeah, so he's just like, you know what, I got to keep going.
We're kind of picking on Mike a little bit here just because there's a lot of images on the internet of him being held gratuitously, and it's just easy as an example.
Yeah, no, he's a very good pass rusher. And, if I'm paying an offensive tackle to block Micah Parsons, I would much rather him hold Micah Parsons than let him tackle my quarterback.
Yeah,
and I'll take the penalty. And I'll especially take it if we don't get any penalties called. If you hold him 15 times a game and you don't get a penalty called, like I will give you a raise because like
your offensive tackles are getting high fives in the training room from everyone.
100%.